In one single night, a 31-year-old named Derek lost $180,000. Not to a scam, not to theft. He lost it to himself. Derek wasn't reckless with money his whole life. In fact, for years he did everything right. He worked as a mechanical engineer, made good money, and by 29 had saved close to $200,000, a number most people his age could only dream of. But Derek had a secret habit. It started small, a few $100s in options trading here, a quick day trade there. Each win gave him a rush that nothing else in his life matched, and for a while he was winning. That's the part nobody warns you about. The early wins are the most dangerous part of the entire trap. They convince you that you're skilled, when really you just got lucky at the worst possible time, right before the moment that changes everything. By early 2024, Derek wasn't trading with spare cash anymore. He was trading with his entire savings account. He told himself it was temporary, just until he hit one big win, and then he'd pull back and invest responsibly like a normal person. On a Tuesday night in March, Derek made one final aggressive bet on a leveraged options position, certain a stock was about to move in his favor. He watched the charts until 2 a.m., convinced he was right. He wasn't. By the time the market opened the next morning, $180,000, nearly everything he had built over a decade of disciplined saving, was gone. Not slowly, not over months, in hours. Derek didn't sleep for 3 days. He didn't tell his parents. He barely told his closest friend. The shame wasn't just about the money. It was about knowing, deep down, that he did this to himself, one small, risky decision at a time, until it became a habit he couldn't stop. Here's what most people expect happens next: total collapse, bankruptcy, giving up on saving altogether because what's the point now? That's not what happened to Derek, and understanding why is the entire point of this story. About 2 weeks after the loss, Derek did something most people in his position never do. He sat down, opened a spreadsheet, and wrote out exactly what happened. Every trade, every emotional decision, every moment he ignored his own rules. Not to punish himself, to understand the pattern. What he found was uncomfortable. Every single major loss happened after a win. Success made him overconfident. Confidence made him abandon his risk limits. Abandoned risk limits led to catastrophic losses. It was a cycle, and until he saw it written down in black and white, he had no idea he was even in one. Derek made a decision that night that changed the next 2 years of his life. He deleted every trading app from his phone. Not paused, deleted. He knew that if the temptation was one tap away, willpower alone wouldn't save him a second time. Then he did something that felt almost boring compared to his old habits. He built a system that removed decision-making from the equation entirely. Every paycheck, before Derek could touch a single dollar of it, 90% of his extra money, beyond bills and a small cushion, automatically moved into a diversified, boring, low-cost index fund. No single stocks, no options, no chasing the next big move, just consistent, automatic, unglamorous investing. He kept 10% of his extra income in a separate account he allowed himself to play with, but capped it hard. If that account hit zero, it stayed at zero until the next month. No exceptions, no borrowing from savings to refill it. This one rule did something powerful. It gave the impulsive part of his brain a small outlet, so it didn't come roaring back and hijack his real savings again. He wasn't fighting the urge to gamble, he was containing it. For the first 6 months, it felt painfully slow. Derek was used to the adrenaline of watching a trade swing thousands of dollars in minutes. Now he was watching a retirement account grow by a few $100s a month. It felt almost embarrassing by comparison. But slow and boring was exactly what had been missing his entire financial life. 2 years later, Derek's index fund account had grown to just over $90,000, half of what he lost that one night. Not because he found some secret strategy, because he simply stopped sabotaging himself and let time and consistency do the quiet work that flashy trades never could. Here's the part of Derek's story that matters most for you. whether you've ever gambled on a stock or not. The system he built wasn't really about investing. It was about removing his own worst impulses from the equation. Most people don't lose money because they don't understand basic investing. They lose money because, in a moment of overconfidence, boredom, or emotion, they override the very system they know is smart. Discipline isn't a personality trait some people have and others don't. It's something you build into your environment so you don't need superhuman willpower every single day. If you've ever made an impulsive financial decision you regretted, a risky trade, an unnecessary purchase, pulling money out of savings for something you didn't need, you're not broken and you're not alone. Derek isn't some financial genius now. He's just someone who built a system that protects him from his worst day instead of relying on his best intentions. So here's the actual takeaway. Automate the boring stuff before you trust yourself with the exciting stuff. Give your impulses a small, capped outlet instead of pretending they don't exist. And when you fail, because everyone does, don't just feel shame. Sit down, write out exactly what happened, and find the pattern. The pattern is always more useful than the guilt. Derek's $180,000 mistake didn't destroy him. It became the exact reason he finally built a financial system that actually works. If this story hit home, you're not alone, and there's a way back. Follow Dollar Den, because sometimes the most valuable lesson comes from someone else's worst night.